got there middle of the day, and it was actually fairly busy. When we walked in, you're kind of greeted by this countertop, I guess, with people behind it, where you fill up your cards and almost walk through the restaurant before you even get down into the arcade. And so initially, I was looking at it and I'm like, okay, this looks like it's going to be pretty cool. And so we went down and we walked into it, and immediately you're greeted with a bazillion sounds and lights going off all over the place.
It's a lot to focus on.
The bar is like right in the center of it. So like the whole premise of this is basically take your kids and you hang out and watch sports and eat food and drink beer at the bar, and they kind of just go and do whatever they want. Me personally, when I had initially seen Dave & Buster's and the way they portrayed it in the commercials, I thought it was more geared towards adults. I thought it was going to be like games from when I was a kid in the arcade, pinball machines and things like that. It did have some of the games that were from when I was a kid. It had the Daytona racing game.
Coin machines?
Yeah, that's not really from when I was a kid though. The Daytona racing game, the one where we played together, where we raced.
Oh yeah, the graphics on that were
old school. Yeah, I was like in high school when Daytona racing came out, because we used to play it at an arcade called Playland. And they only had 4 cars there, but I think Playland, when I was a kid, had like 8. But the other thing about that I found with a lot of those race games and stuff in there is that stuff is getting played so hard that half the time the buttons and stuff don't even work. Like, I played that game before me and you played it together, and I would go to shift from the only thing I could shift from was 3rd to 4th. I couldn't shift 1st, 2nd. All I could do was 3rd and 4th at the very end car. So that's why when we played, we shifted down to those other cars down there at the end.
I wasn't shifting.
But yeah, that was like one of the only games that I saw that was from when I was a kid. They have a lot of like real big first-person shooters, like Tomb Raider and things like that are like just massively huge games that you can stand out and play. Yeah, Wicked Tuna.
I don't know what it was called, but it was massive.
Yeah, Wicked Tuna was there for a game. But the majority of it, I would say like 90% of it was what I would call ticket arcade. Like,
yeah.
They, with these guys, they want to get you to blow all kinds of money and then cash that in for prizes, right? But they're not really like the best thing in the world. Initially, we both started off with about the same amount of money. Carter actually had more money on his card than I did. And he had to have his filled twice. And at the end of the day, we were still playing on my card so we could kill the balance before we could go home. And the reason for that was the games that I was playing with, like race cars and the first-person shooters and stuff like that, they weren't really expensive in the credits.
All the ticket games were like 10.9 points, if not more expensive.
And the ones that I was playing were like 2 and 3. Like I could have kept playing by myself for an entire day with like $50 because I was playing games that, most of the time were geared to. I played some of the ticket games too, but most of the time the games I was playing were like the first-person shooters, the fishing game, the race car games.
I was trying to hit jackpots.
Yeah.
I hit a couple.
And that blows out your funds real fast when you do that. So we played that for a while, and the kids, put us in the poorhouse. And then we went over as a group, and it was kind of neat because everybody that we know from basketball was in town. And so we only ended up going with, 6 of us in our car. But then we ran into so many other people from home that were down there for a basketball tournament. Carter plays basketball too, but he's not playing in this summer league. So it was kind of neat because we got to go there and see people from home, and they got to all play and hang out together. So, they probably went at it for like 2-3 hours.
I don't know. I couldn't keep track of time.
And then we went and got dinner, and going to dinner kind of went downhill.
Yeah. So it was at like a 5-star, and then you went to dinner, and it went down to like 4.
The food was good. The server that we had, she said she was new and she was good, but they were extremely understaffed.
Everything took so long. I ordered a water as a drink, and it took them like 10 minutes to bring it out.
Yeah, they only had like 4 servers for a place that was just filled with people, and so you ordered something, and the poor girl was trying to keep up with so many different massive tables of 10 people everywhere. It was just, she did very good for what she had dealt to her, but just leaving out of the restaurant area took us like a half an hour. But between the time I asked for the bill and they brought the bills out in the boxes and everything, it was like a solid half an hour that we just sat there and waited for stuff because, one person can only do so much. And then we wrapped it up with going back down to the arcade, and like I said, we finished out my card, and the kids got all their prizes.
Yeah, I got a few things. I got a blanket for 1,000 tickets.
Yeah, there was nothing there really for adults. Carter wanted to try to win a vacuum cleaner for his mother, but that's not why we went. We went to have fun, and so we even if he would have had enough tickets, we weren't gonna let you get that because you're only a kid once. You don't need to buy a vacuum cleaner. I wouldn't go out of my way to go back to another Dave & Buster's.
The arcade was fun.
I think
maybe not eat, but
if you're gonna go there, you might as well eat too, because it's all in one area. But I wouldn't go back just because, like I said at the beginning, I thought it was more geared towards like us 80s and 90s kids and like being adults and the video games that we played, and it just wasn't. And not that it didn't have cool games, but a 2-hour drive one way for that was kind of a stupid decision, but we didn't know. If you were in the area for something like a basketball tournament and you had time to kill and you were with kids,
that'd be a different situation.
I think it's perfect for that. But to make an actual trip to go to Dave & Buster's,
not worth it.
No, I didn't. I'm not gonna say I had a bad time.
I had a fun time.
I had a good time too. It's too far to go for that.